Well, hello, how are we all doing today? We're back again for the My Team Career Mode, and of course we are going to be doing the Japanese Grand Prix on this occasion, if you didn't see the last episode, which was a hell of a long one. I think it was like 62 minutes, I think, in the end. We got 30 points, so not too shabby at all. If you haven't watched it, go do. Probably the best one so far. Might be better than this one, might not be better than this one. You'll have to watch to find out. But nonetheless, finally, as you've seen that email, points on the board. So nonetheless, we will be able to continue on, and hopefully that's the first of many points. We also had the mechanical failure. That was with Victor Martins, when obviously we was controlling Gabriella Mini, and then pleased to inform that our title sponsor has grown. The loyalty has got stronger, and then there's the R&D chart. We are the 9th fastest car ahead of Cadillac and Aston Martin. That's slow. They're not even on the charts. In terms of then research and development, once again, just same as always, I'm going to speed through this. Just same we're doing like aero, chassis, and durability. Then going through activities to ensure that we can get as much benefits as possible through the activity side of things. We've got a new secondary sponsor as well, so we can go to the car and change some of the sponsors of which we put on to make sure that we get a more healthy relationship with that particular sponsor. Just going through and ensuring that they do look all right, and you'll be able to have a quick little peek on the livery as well. I don't know how long you will see it for, but nonetheless, there was livery momentarily, and then we can see now we're going to start upgrading some more facilities. Go for the engineering contract management, so we can do 2 developments at a time on two facility upgrades at a time per every single time we do want to upgrade it. Then we have a misjudged comment. We wanted the discipline, so everything stays happy, and then we're going to do another upgrade on here. This is going to just help within the powertrain side of things, and do some more development and research. And there we can go to the tire allocation, where we have got ourselves, we're going to go, because it's Japan, the tyres aren't that bad, so we're going to go to balance, but nonetheless, we can go and head to practice. We're going to control this race weekend, Victor Martin, so let's go to FP1 in the Japanese Grand Prix. The weather as well, not too nice. There is your weather. I wanted to get this in before we went to FP1. The qualifying, fully wet. The race, half of it is wet. Not the most ideal thing, but it's going to be entertaining to drive these cars in the rain for the first time, isn't it? There's a reminder of your championship standings as well. Lando leads from Russell, Piastri, Antonelli, Verstappen. Then the Ferraris are Hadjar. Then the constructors. McLaren lead one from Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, and then ourselves. But now we can finally go to FP1 of the Japanese Grand Prix.
Suzuka is an old-school favourite, an old seat of motorsport, and a place where so many champions have been crowned. Let's get the weekend started then. It's practice in Japan.
So here we are in FP1, and I couldn't be bothered to show. I didn't want to waste your time with all the garage stuff, so we are here straight on track. We're going to do the track accumulation side of things, so we can then see what it's like, get a feel for the car, get a feel for the track. We're on the hard tyres, so we're not going to have a lot of grip, because this is FP1 as well. This is going to be the lowest grip conditions ever on this circuit, because we're going to continue to lay rubber down the whole entire time. So we go down towards turn number 1, where you'll make your way all the way approaching 300 kilometers an hour, and then through the first curve, then apply the power instantly. Make sure you get through the gates before you go to the S section. Through the left, through the right. You have to be cautious, then look at the plane understeer, so then we missed that particular gate. Nonetheless, we can continue on through here. Again, we get a boatload more of understeer, so that's our second gate missed already. Then we go up through Dunlop curve before we make our way down towards the 2 Degners, where turns, they are such high speed, so you have to ensure that you don't clutter the curb too much. You can use the curb, of course, but if you go a little bit too wide, you could beat your car and send it off. Exit Degner 2 then towards Hairpin Corner, where we take it a little bit more cautious, because we're still trying to learn this car and the braking zones around the circuit before we make our way. Then flat through the right kink. Before then, we make our way all the way to Spoon Curve. 2 corners this, although it's just mainly one long, aging left-hander through the whole of Spoon Curve, and then we make our way all the way down the back straight, down in towards Montpellier, where we will have the battery on medium. Active aero will be enabled as we make our way through the famous 130R before we make our way to the Casio Triangle. The final 3 corners are awaiting. Brake and then rotate the car in. Smooth on the inputs, at least on this lap, until you have to chuck it for the left of the chicane. Around the final corner we go, and our first lap of the day is going to be a 1 minute 34.574. So not a worse start, only 3.5 tenths from Verstappen's lap time here. Then we go to the end of our second lap, where once again we're going a little bit faster on this particular lap time, and then we go a little bit wide, go slightly over track limits, get a distant next lap invalidation. Luckily, the track limits does not affect this practice program, so we can continue on anyway, even though we haven't validated our time. And then we make our way down towards Spoon Curve on our final lap of this particular program. Then apply the power on the exit at the corner, get a bit trigger happy, and then we have a moment, a double moment, and we save the car from heading into the barrier. So it's nothing all that bad, but it's not going to be ideal in terms of the practice program. So it's just a double snap, sends our car around. And that's really the first big spin that we've had in this car, apart from obviously in the Australian Grand Prix. Nonetheless, we have completed the practice program, so not the worst result in the end. And then we're going on to the race strategy, where first lap of it, done. We've got 1 of 5 laps done. We have improved our time, we're up into 4th position. On our second lap then, back through the Casio Triangle, and instantly back on the battery with a massive slide on the exit of the corner, tap in the grass, and over the line we go, only barely missing out on our personal best time. Then on our third run, we go through the Casio Triangle again. I'm so cautious through here because this has been argued by, this is probably the section I struggled with the most in terms of setting a competitive time. Over the line we go, and that's a 33.885, marginally, very marginally away from our fastest time so far. And then on our final lap of this practice program, we go through 130R, and you see we're using battery. We wanted to push and see what the car could handle on our final lap of the race strategy. Look how much we're up on the delta. That's not to our actual time, that's to the time you see in the middle right of your screen. The 35.8 we are massively up on, and over the line we go 32.444, and that is the fastest time we've seen so far. And there is your practice results then. Russell from Hamilton, Antonelli, and then Piastri, Albon, Leclerc, Norris, Sainz, Gasly, Hadjar, Lindblad, Colapinto, Victor Martins, Perez, Verstappen all the way down there, Behrman for Alonso, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Bottas, Bortoletto, Lawson, Mini, and Lance Stroll rounds off. Let's go to qualifying for the Japanese Grand Prix.
A warm welcome, everybody, from a venue that has seen plenty of sensational laps over the years. Remember, Verstappen in 23, Vettel in 2019. Some phenomenal pole laps. But whose will it be today?
Welcome to Japan. Welcome to qualifying. The thing we have been dealt with, a cooling system fault. So not the most ideal thing overall in the world, but nonetheless it won't affect us too much. Just quickly simulate past all of that. We can go instantly with around 6-7 laps of fuel in the car, just so we can continue. You can see we're going to put some fuel on here, and then look, set 6.6 laps of fuel in the car. Let's just go out onto the circuit for our first lap in rainy conditions in this F1 My Team car, and it looks absolutely horrendous, does the weather, but nonetheless it's going to be the question of what can we do. We go through 130R on our out lap here. Just want this out. The first lap here is going to be mainly to get used to the grip, get used to the conditions, and you see we look already wobbling under braking. Just wanted to ensure that we get a proper feel on this lap. Short shifting to ensure the rear doesn't snap out on us, then we can go up to hot lap. Active aero at the line. It's only the front wing that turns on in qualifying when it is raining, so nonetheless we can power on, go through turn number 1. You don't have to do a lot of LICO in the rain condition because you're full throttle for so much less time. The battery does a lot more recharging. Anyway, through the S curves, or the S section, it is treacherous. There's so many corrections all the time. Just wanted to make sure that we don't absolutely stack this car into the barrier, because that's the last thing we want in terms of running costs. We don't want to cost ourselves, our team, any more money, because if we haven't got a lot of money already, we then go through Degner 1, then in towards Degner 2, and then we apply the power, put the battery up to hot lap momentarily before we make our way into the hairpin. Do a little bit of Lyco so we can just stabilise the car before we then brake, rotate through the hairpin, apply the power on the exit of the corner. Then make your way down towards Spoon Curve, where battery will be depleted all the way. Not all the way down, just all the way until we get to the braking zone. On the hot lap nonetheless, we do some Lyco into the entry of Spoon Curve, and then use some of the curb on the exit. You don't really want to use the curb, but it does help sometimes in spitting the rear to get some more rotation. Then make your way down the back straight on the exit of Spoon Curve all the way down towards 130R, where it is surprisingly still flat in these conditions, but obviously with these cars you take so much less speed because of how the battery and the active aero works. We then go under braking for the Casio triangle through the right, through the left, and apply the power on the exit of the final corner, and over the line we go with, it will be a 1 minute 45, which isn't the greatest, but it's not the worst. We can then just continue on. Look at the improvement. Look at on the next lap, 1.4 seconds up over the line, up to 13th was the best final sector. Then on our next lap, we're just going consecutive lap times here. You can see we're getting more confidence to braking and the steering. Look at the time gain that we have got. 6.7, 6.6 tenths up, and 6.5 as we go over the line. We go up into 9th again with a purple final sector, so we're constantly finding the best final sector. Purple in the middle sector, and over the line we go now, and it's green in the last sector. It's not the greatest because we did lose time, but nonetheless, we are up into 5th position, and the rain was nearing an end here, but it wasn't ending this session, so I made sure that I lowered the fuel, and then made sure look at the timing page, and then made sure we was on the same set of tyres, because I do prefer scrubbed intermediate tyres compared to new inters. You can see the line is getting more dry as we do continue on, but nonetheless we are going to power on in this qualifying session to ensure that we can progress into Q3. A lot of cars out on the circuit, not a lot in the pit lane. It's kind of brave to stay in the pit lane really in these type of conditions, but anyway, around the final corner we go, and down towards turn 1 we go. You'd have to think we'd probably have to do this lap to ensure that we get through. We've got the best of conditions out of any of the AI here as we go through turn number 1, chuck the car in, and then apply the power once again. And we go little wobble there, but instantly we find almost a 10th of a second. We go through the S section, then through the right, through the left. Look at that, almost 3 tenths up. I was saying we have to do a little bit of lift because we understeer wide. That cost us around a 10th of a second, and then we go up through Dunlop curve. We lose another 10th, but then we gain it all back on the uphill section. Now look at that, half a second up on the delta out of absolutely nowhere. You see Antonelli chucks in a lap ahead of us, and we go through Degner 1, then through Degner 2, and apply the power instantly before we make our way down in towards the hairpin, where look at half a second up. Times are flying in, so we really have to think we've got to get this time in. But there's not many cars left to come over the line. We're down to 10th, make that surely soon P11 in a couple moments time. There you go, Hulkenberg goes ahead. We go down towards Spoon Curve, where we'll be braking in a couple moments time. Down to P12, Colapinto's chucked his Alpine ahead of us. Down to 14th now, because 2 more cars have set their times. However, we're through. We're safe. It doesn't mean anything this lap now, but nonetheless we're just going to set this lap for pride. And everyone's completed their laps, and we are from P18 or below go out in my team. So 18th, 19th, 20th, 21, 22, 23 and 24. They all go out. We are safe by a couple of positions actually, but we're going to still chuck it through the final couple of corners. Short shift around the final corner, applying the power. Look at that, 8 tenths of a second up over the line. And that's not too shabby, is it? Over the line, it's P2 in Q1. So for the first time ever, we're out of Q1. So we will finally in this series be able to witness a Q2. In qualifying, Piastri from ourselves, Hamilton, Russell, Norris, Antonelli, Leclerc, Alonso, Verstappen, Behrman, Hadjar, Gasly, Hulkenberg, Colapinto, Bottas, Albon, Sainz, Ocon, Perez, Lindblad, Lawson, Bortoletto, Stroll, and Gabriele Mini are the 7 to fall at the first hurdle in this Japanese qualifying session. Look at the race director, look at us, just we're completely setting consistent times, set 5 lap times in that qualifying session. But let's roll on Q2 then. Let's see what we can do now as we arrive into Q2. The rain's looking very lighter now. It's looking a lot more lighter. And Mark is telling us Inters are obviously the favoured tyre without a shadow of a doubt. We're going to instantly go out onto the track here. But the rain looks very, very light. It looks like it's going to stop in a couple of moments' time. But nonetheless, as we go in towards 1:30, I instantly want to ask Mark about weather report. So we've only got 5 or 10 minutes left of rain, so we could have a dry qualifying come at the end of the 12 minutes that remain here in Q2. Nonetheless, we are going to power on in this particular lap time to see what we can get. This again will just be to feel the grip, to see what we can do. So we go towards turn 1, the derating already beginning, as then we go rotate it through the first curve, and we go very, very wide, misjudging the brake, and a little bit of a correction, 2-3 corrections through the exit of the acceleration zone through turn 1. Through the S as we go. Seems to be a little bit all over the shop really as we go through the left and then towards the right we go, making sure we can just keep this minimum speed up as we apply the power, keep it in medium, rise up through Dunlop curve, taken and keeping to that dry line because that's where the most grip is going to prevail. Then we go through Degner 1, dancing with the code, go a little bit wider, we're probably skating off into the gravel. Exit of Degner 2, then in towards hairpin corner where fastest time so far we are hoping to challenge it, but nonetheless look how torrential the hairpin was, look at how horrid it was, just so slidey on the exit of the corner. Nonetheless, we are going to continue on and power on through Spoon Curve, plain understeering again through both sections of Spoon Curve, and then we apply the power, make our way down in towards 1:30. Fastest time goes to Oscar Piastri. We are going to be absolutely nowhere near that, to be honest, but nonetheless we can continue on here. Through 1:30 we go towards the Casio Triangle, lift and coasting, braking around the 100-meter board, chuck the car through the final 2-3 corners. Round the final corner we go, and crossing the line, the lap time is going to be a 1:42.444. So it's not the worst lap in the world. We have a massive front right lockup into the Casio Triangle on this particular lap time. As we come around the final corner, over the line we go. It's not going to be an improvement. We're going to go on for one more lap here in this set of tyres. No, we're not actually. We're going to peel into the pit lane, which I want to make sure now, because this is where the debates happen. The rain has stopped. The rain has stopped here in Japan. So the question is now, do we go on the inters or do we go on the softs? I was on board with Alonso here. I wanted to see the conditions. And everyone that was on the circuit was on the inters. And I was really debating if I go for the softs. I did go to have a look, actually, at the soft tyres. So I wanted to have a look whatever the AI were doing. The dry line is more or less dry, but it does look really sketchy here. Everyone is on that inter tyre. I say everyone. The 3 cars that are on the circuit are on the intermediate tyres. I have a look at the softs. They are getting close to the optimal tyre, but they're still 3 seconds off the pace. So we're going to just have to probably power on here. On the intermediate tyre, we go on a brand new set of tyres, and it's going to be one of those where it's like a one-shot qualifying in a sense. 30 seconds left in the session, 23 seconds actually, so we have really got to get a move on here if we are to make it to the line. 17 seconds, there should be plenty of time as we come through the Casio Triangle for what could be our penultimate time in this session. We have to absolutely nail this lap. We've got 9 tenths to find to get P10. So much time we have to find. The dry line is drying up, so we could, if we gambled the softs, oh well. So we'll have to do it on the inters. Through turn 1 we go. Very, very wide, but then it helps us with the rotation if we apply the power, and the time will instantly rise after, although we have a bit of a moment. So we gain 1.2 tenths, so that's probably another tenth missed out on. Through the S section we go. The understeer just plain throwing us in. There's a lot less grip than I expected considering how dry the circuit is, but we gain time on the exit on the end of the S curve, but then we go through Dunlop curve and the rear giving out. We have to instantly jam on the brake to lock all the tyres to avoid the barrier, but that is qualifying done for ourselves and we are out. We are 12th on the grid. It's our best qualifying so far, so not the worst. We go to Q2 results. Norris tops it from Antonelli, then Carlos Sainz for Williams, Isaac Hadjar, Lewis Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, George Russell, Charles Leclerc, Verstappen and Albon make it through. Then the 7 eliminated, Oliver Behrman, Victor Martin, Valtteri Bottas for Cadillac, fair plays to him. Pierre Gasly, Nico Hülkenberg in the Audi, Franco Colapinto in the Alpine, and then Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin. Let's roll on qualifying for, let's roll on the Grand Prix for the Japanese race.
We come to you live today from the Mie Prefecture in the south of Japan's Honshu Island for a race that has seen many title deciders over the years. Some simple, some controversial, but all contributing to a legacy that makes the Japanese Grand Prix an indispensable stop in any Formula One season. We're southwest of the city of Nagoya today at a wet and windy Suzuka Circuit. 3.6 miles and 18 corners make up a lap here, with Sector 1 likely to prove especially difficult in these conditions. We should see overtaking into turns 1 and 16 today, and maybe a few Kobayashi-style dives into the hairpin as well. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. George Russell will begin today's event in pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Leclerc, Norris, and Sir Lewis Hamilton, and Piastri, Antonelli, Hadjar, Sainz, and Alex Albon, Behrman, Martins, Valtteri Bottas, and Gasly, Hülkenberg, Colapinto, Fernando Alonso, and Esteban Ocon, Perez, Lindblad, Lawson, Bortoletto, Stroll, and Gabriele Mini rounds off the grid. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? And alongside me today, former Formula One driver and former world champion too. See, told you I'll give you a big intro. Anthony Davidson, hello. Now, you're the racing driver in this partnership, so tell us about this racing driver. Put us in their shoes. How are they going to be feeling?
Well, you've got to be prepared, Crofty. Before you even step foot inside the car, you've got to know, you've got to have a pre-race game plan. You've watched videos before you get into the car of previous races gone by. You know where you have to place your car if X, Y, or Z happens in front of you or behind you. So having this clear game plan is absolutely essential before you get in the car.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
Well, Mark's saying we don't want to let him down. So nonetheless, we will make our way towards our strategy where you can see it says half the race is rain, half of it is dry. So it's going to be a proper strategic gamble here for, do you maybe go to the end on the hard tile? Do you maybe do a two-stop, like doing maybe softs to then mediums or softs to hards? But nonetheless, the rain is pouring here in Suzuka. Formation lap underway then. Here at Suzuka Circuit, where we're going to be lining up P12 for our third ever Grand Prix in Formula One, and instantly wanted to weave to get some tyres, wanted to brake drag to get some tyres. You can see some mega weaving here just to try and get some temperature into these front tyres, because we know the inters don't really wear a lot when you're going at these speeds, so we can just chuck the car around to 5 to 10, do a little bit of a wheel spin to get some extra rear temperature. You can see the temps look okay, they are green, so nonetheless we can park up all okay. I almost stopped as 1.2 metres spare, but nonetheless we get it to 0.4 metres spare. But nonetheless, the final car's peeling at the back of the grid. 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights are on. In Suzuka we go racing for the third time in this series. Towards turn 1 we go. Instantly jumping Oliver Behrman and instantly thinking of an attack on Alexander Albon. We go on the brake and Albon chops the door. And look how many cars leave the circuit. The pole sitter Russell ahead goes off the road. Hamilton and Sainz as well. While others who left the circuit, we're now side by side with Albon for 10th position. Side by side. Through the S section we go. Sainz and Hadjar as well. Still dueling away here. And then Albon able to just cut us off and get the position. Sainz and Hadjar still going for it. We have to take a little bit of evasive action as we go on the inside. Bang tyres with Alex Albon. But he has the momentum on the outside line. And Albon can draw through and keep 10th position. But now we're so weak in rain conditions in the race trim. In qualifying it's a different story. But in the rain, in the race, which is absolutely torrential here, we're going to be be losing so much time compared to the AI. The AI seems to have just an extra upper hand here compared to us, but nonetheless, we go through the apex of hairpin corner and go on the power. And we compared to the AI, this is probably our best corner, hairpin. We could be getting so much time under traction, but we're going to hope that we can try and stick with Alexander Albon. But we can go to the race start, and we go racing on the race start. And George Russell actually got a decent start. He jumped Verstappen, and Charles Leclerc as well was looking to challenge him. Russell was actually completely clear into turn 1, but just went so wide, beached himself on the curb. Through went Norris, Leclerc and Piastri, and the preseason favourite from pole down to 5th position. It's Verstappen who leads the Japanese Grand Prix, looking for 5 in a row in Suzuka. Unheard of in Formula 1. 4 in a row was unheard of. But can the Flying Dutchman fly to victory in Suzuka? We'll have to find out come at the end of the Grand Prix. Nonetheless, back to our story then on lap number 3. And look at the time we're losing. 4 seconds behind already. That shows how much slower we are compared to the AI here. We've got an absolute train. Look at the mini-map in the bottom left. That just shows how much slower we are than all of them. We've got a whole train all aboard the rear, all aboard the Victor Martin train, really. We're P11. There's 13 other cars behind. This is a 14-car train as we make our way towards turn number 1. Oliver Behrman is gaining, but not close enough to do anything on that particular lap. But he loses at least a second a lap. Further ahead, Isaac Hadjar doing battle with the Williams drivers. Carlos Sainz looking to make the move on the Frenchman. He'll be gaining all the while, looking to defend the inside line. Sainz does the dummy move on the inside, but sells Hadjar wide. Hadjar beaches himself on the curb, almost rejoins in the path of Albon. So, Hadjar has been sent to the shops. He was in 8th. He's down into 10th in this race. But now, we've got Ollie Behrman on our rear. 4 tenths. To make that 3.5 as we go in towards turn number 1, where once again rotate it through the apex, go a little bit wide though, understeer, and like braking. Behrman tries to challenge on our inside, but we have the outside line and the high line for the momentum, so we go through down towards 130 yard. Bottas got past Behrman, and we skipped to lap 8 because not really much happened. This is where the action has started happening though. The rain has stopped, the track has dried. We could have come in last lap, but we didn't want to. We're coming in this lap, so we want to fend off Valtteri Bottas as we go through the final chicane and into the pit lane come the race leaders. Verstappen, Norris and Leclerc have all run into the pit lane. Piastri, Antonelli and Hamilton all continue on, with George Russell as well into the pit lane. Verstappen needs a good stop here as we look slow on the front right and the rear right as we get on the exit of the pit lane. Verstappen, it's like 2024 or 2025, sorry, they were close on the exit, not as close as last time though, because Verstappen is able to fend off the McLaren on the pit exit, as now we also come into the pit lane here. As Verstappen's exiting, we're entering here, so we go on for a set of the soft tyres here. We missed the turning because I kind of forgot where my button was. We go for the soft tyres, we get blocked by Perez, so we lose position to the Audi of Hulkenberg. We lose position to Alonso as well. Not to Alonso, to Behrman, and also to Franco Colapinto in the Alpine. So it's not the most ideal thing. Valtteri Bottas as well. Look, there's so little grip. I expected a lot more grip, to be honest. We have oversteer. Instantly go across the white line. Alonso tries it on the inside, but we've got the soft tyres. We have new soft tyres, so we can just instantly outdo him with the grip. And the reason I wanted the soft tyres, I wanted to be able just to instantly have tyres that fire up, so we can just instantly fly on by. Look at the grip and vibes we've got on Hulkenberg and Behrman as we go, making our way through the S section and then we go up through Dunlop curve. We're gaining all the while here. Boost mode isn't enabled yet, although it is basically dry enough really for the slick tyres. And then we go through the Degner one, and there is your straight mode and your boost mode reinstated. We have now got the boost mode, and then we're going to make our way towards the hairpin. Hulkenberg ran a little bit wide. This is our chance to maybe just try and dive it down on the inside on the German driver, and through we go into 17th place. And on the traction instantly, look at the soft tyres just working to their full effect. Instantly, it's not even a contest, past Ollie Behrman, using the boost button then, getting past Valtteri Bottas as well on the inside. Do some Lyco, but the soft tyre will help us in the braking and the rotation, and through we go into 15th place in the Japanese Grand Prix. 3 positions made in an absolute instant. Here's a replay then on lap number 9, heading on to lap number 10. The three that stayed out are all now in the pit lane. Piastri, Antonelli and Hamilton here. Hamilton's got the best chance probably to gain a position because look how close he was to Kimi Antonelli as we came in the braking into our box we go. It's not the quickest stop for Ferrari as when we go on the exit. It's an even slower stop for Mercedes. Piastri comes out ahead of Hamilton, but Hamilton ahead of Antonelli. So they have sorted the pit lane. Here comes Charles Leclerc to go past a lot of them. It'll be close with Piastri, Russell as well, crucially, ahead of Antonelli and ahead of Hamilton. But nonetheless, we can make our way towards 130R back with ourselves as we go through the 130R. Valtteri Bottas right on the rear here, going to try and challenge us on the brake, but the soft tyre is going to help us out oh so much as we go. Rotate as a minor front right locker, then we go through the left of the chicane and foot to the floor all the way down towards turn number 1. Bortoletto, Stroll and Colapinto, all drivers, they are coming out of the pit lane now. We got the soft tyres. There is the Alpine of Franco Colapinto. We go past them all. Bottas is ahead of them as well as we go through the opening corner of the racetrack. This is where the soft tyres are going to mainly help us here. In terms of the battle for the lead though, Norris sticking to the rear of Max Verstappen, and Norris might think of a challenge into the hairpin. All the pressure that the world champion's putting on might force Verstappen into a mistake, which it does. Verstappen with the double front lock up into the hairpin, and there's your onboard. Just look at it, as soon as he turned it, the both fronts locked up, almost went straight on into the gravel, but luckily for himself, he didn't lose position to Charles Leclerc, so he's down into second. That's now a big gap he's got to catch up. In terms of the aspect for ourselves, though, we come over the line. We set the fastest lap of the race here in the Japanese Grand Prix. So, we are absolutely flying here in not Shanghai, sorry, in Suzuka, as we go down towards 130R once again. Here is then George Russell, who is trying to challenge for the podium positions. He's pulling to the inside line, and he's making the move on the McLaren. And that was that smoke? Was that smoke from the rear of the car? I think it was smoke from the rear of the Mercedes. George Russell was having an engine failure for Mercedes, and in this season, where he's a championship elect, these are crucial moments. You can't have engine failures, and George Russell is out of the race. We go through into a gifted P10. We're through into the points. So this is going to absolutely save us now. This is going to be our best chance. We look to be in no man's land in terms of getting points in this Grand Prix, but it's offered. We've been offered it, and now you can just see we're just trying to absolutely chuck this car as quick as we possibly can, just to ensure we can get the most out of these soft tyres, even risking it using some grass. There we go, uphill then, and then make your way down towards Degner 1 and Degner 2, where once again here is the fight for 5th and 6th. Lewis Hamilton right on the rear of the man who replaced him at Mercedes. Down towards turn 1 we go. Hamilton with the battery available. He's gaining on the Mercedes, pulling to the inside line in a straight fight. It's not even a contest. Through goes Hamilton into the top 5, past the Mercedes man as we apply the power. Hamilton was a bit of a slide on the exit, nothing too massive, but then nonetheless on lap 17 of 27, not a lot really happening in this race, so we just decided to skip forward, not so I can not waste your time. Nonetheless, on the pit exit we go. There's Hamilton ahead of us, and we go past Albon, but obviously we are yet to pit. Albon has already pitted. He was absolutely country miles up the road. Nonetheless, though, through turn 1 we go. We are boxing this lap though, so it's not a bad stint at all on this soft tyre. We went to lap 18, went 9, 10, 11 laps on this tyre. We're setting personal best still. That's because the track's continuously improving. So we remember where our button is this time. Get it turned in very, very nicely, and then stop on the marks. Get the battery all revved up. Get the engine revved up as well. Get the battery charged up, I should have said. And then we go on to a set of the medium compound tyres here. I was debating using softs again, but I didn't want to risk it into the tyres then as the track gets hotter. The tyres degrade more. But nonetheless, on the pit exit we go. This will not be close with anyone. We go on towards turn number 1, and we are clear in 14th position. This is going to be our best chance possible to try and get some.
It looks like we might have an issue. Hang in there, we're attempting to manage it.
So that's not the most ideal thing, is it, at all? We have a potential issue in our car. So hopefully it's not an engine failure. Hopefully it's nothing to do with the active aero, because you can lose like a second, 2 seconds a lap if you lose the active aero. We've lost the rear wing. Have we lost the front wing though? This will be a good question, because if we've lost the front wing, we're not losing as much, but obviously it still won't be ideal. If we can't open anything, I don't think we're going to get a point. I think we're going to lose too much time. But look at the gap. It's not nothing's open. Look at the gap. It was around 5.8, 6.1. And as we make our way in towards the Casio triangle, look at the gap come down. Look at it. It's gone under 4 seconds. So I think we're cooked. I think we're finished here. We have been given absolutely no saviour in terms of wanting to get a point here. We are going to come out ahead of these guys. We are going to come out in P10 anyways. There is Colapinto on pit exit. And we've probably lost time, really, because of the straight line, because of the straight mode. We've basically really got nothing. Really. Just nothing, yeah. Basically offered nothing now. Look at the gap. So the gap here, 2.2. Down in towards 130R. It just tumbles down. Look at that, 1.5. And it's just absolutely, it's flying down all the time. Look at it, down to 1.1. We lost a second. We lost 1.2 seconds on that straight. So any hope we've got of fighting for a point is basically dashed. We're going to have to go ultra aggressive here if we are to want to get a point here in Suzuka. We go towards turn number 1. I'm instantly wanting to look behind me because Colapinto is coming at an aggressive rate of not. We dove aggressively to the inside line. And that's the first defensive we've had to put up on lap 23 of 27. Not the most ideal thing here, but then in towards 130R we go. As the straight mode does then properly kick in. We have more battery, so we're actually able to nullify the deficit with no straight mode here. But Colapinto will be getting closer once again. And then towards the braking zone we go. We won't be... Probably won't able to be... Oh my god, I can't get my words out. Probably won't able to be able to defend this. There we go. Finally got my words out here as we go in towards turn number 1. Draining the battery. Doing an aggressive chop on Colapinto. And it had to cause it up to slow a little bit. But probably out of frustration with doing this. We're diving it on the inside line. Getting the elbow out against Franco Colapinto. I didn't know he was there. But almost tire hooking. Almost sending us off. We defend the position though. And hang on to 10th in this race. But once again, exit a spoon curve towards 130R. Where once again... we're going to have to defend. We haven't got a lot of battery on this occasion, though. Colapinto absolutely flying through. We go aggressive to the inside of 130R, but then Colapinto and Arvid Lindblad both just fly on through. Esteban Ocon's going to be up next. I think of just diving out of frustration on Arvid Lindblad. But nonetheless, that's 2 positions lost, and we've gone from 10th to 12th, and that's going to be crucial in the aspect of us wanting to bolster our hopes of getting in a good Constructors Championship fight. Ocon as well will surely just plain sell around the outside. He does, but out of frustration again, just another dive bomb. He might have to take a bit of avoiding action there, but nonetheless, no contact made. Maybe because he has to avoid action. Nonetheless, it doesn't matter though, as we make our way towards 130R once again. This isn't going to be a contest again. Ocon flies on through. We have to downshift. That's how much we're losing. Lawson flies on by. And look at that. We've probably lost another 1.2 seconds there. And we have to do some Lyco to get some more battery here as we're about to head on to lap 24. We're not having the greatest time now, are we? It's really upsetting in a sense because we probably had the point locked in. Our pace was really good. But you win some, you lose some. It's Formula 1. You can't have everything go your way. In terms of the fight for the podium position, though, Charles Leclerc looking into the move on Oscar Piastri, got past, but then into the braking zone, in towards the Casio triangle. Verstappen and Antonelli as well doing battle. The young Italian and the 4-time champion do battle, and Antonelli gets past the Flying Dutchman. He got past into 130R. Now we go back to battle with ourselves as we head on to the penultimate lap of this Japanese Grand Prix. Alonso will be gaining all the while, gaining and gaining and gaining. We go to the inside to try and offer the defense, but there's just nothing. Nothing in the top speed, and it's not the power unit that's hampering us, it's just the straight line mode as we go backwards. Leclerc and Piastri on the inside line goes Oscar to get back that second position, but Charles Leclerc's not going to give this one up. Dive on the inside of the Casio triangle, then look around the outside of the final corner, but nonetheless apply the power, head down towards turn number 1, but Leclerc will have the straight speed, the straight line mode, the battery pulling out to the inside. On to the final lap of this race they go. Charles Leclerc fends off Oscar Piastri. And I say fends off, get back past Oscar Piastri to hold on to second position. Lando Norris has won the race. We can see them making their way down in towards 130R. This is actually the battle for second. We wanted to see if Piastri was going to do anything as they make their way through 130R. Nothing's going to happen in the aspect of the battle for second, but then we soon switch to Lando Norris. Perfect cutaway as Lando Norris up and around the final corner. The world champion starting his title defense perfectly with 2 wins out of 3. Lando Norris wins the Japanese Grand Prix ahead of Charles Leclerc and Oscar Piastri. Antonelli 4th, Verstappen 5th. We're going to have to try and fend off Valtteri Bottas, but the straight line mode is just hampering us. This is when it will then nullify. We've both got no battery. We're going to go brave on the brakes, under braking through the Casio triangle inside, then the outside. We leave him plenty of racing room. We're able to hold on to 15th, but this race is mainly a what could have been. We finished in 15th place, and it's quite the upsetting one, really. We could have been P10. We should have been P10, but you win some, you lose some. We got lucky to be in P10 because of Russell's engine failure. Lindblad, well-deserved driver of the day, but nonetheless.
It's all go, go, go for Lando Norris as he takes the checkered flag and wins.
And it's always good, Crofty, to get that momentum on your side, and it's really good for your confidence as well. The more confident you are, the further that can take you.
It's time for our podium celebrations. And as ever in Formula One, 3 is the magic number. He raises the trophy over his head. Lando Norris, head and shoulders above the rest today. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport action. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
Well, here we are then with the race results. Lando Norris wins from Charles Leclerc. Then Oscar Piastri in P3. Kimi Antonelli in P4. Then it's Verstappen in 5th. Hamilton, Sainz, Hadjar, Albon. Arvid Lindblad gets his first ever point in Formula One. Rightly so, getting driving the day from P20, got to P10. Stallion effort as Lawson went from 21st to 12th. Then there's Colapinto from Lawson, then Ocon, Fernando Alonso for Aston in P14, not too shabby at all. Ourselves in P15, what could have been. Valtteri Bottas for Cadillac, again not too bad in P16. And then Pierre Gasly for Alpine, one race to forget for the Frenchman. Hulkenberg in 18th, Lance Stroll in 19th, and then Bortoletto, Oliver Behrman, Sergio Perez, Gabriele Mini in P23, and then the sole DNF was the pole sitter of George Russell. We can go to the standings then. Norris extends his championship lead to 20 points ahead of Oscar Piastri. McLaren 1-2 in the drivers, then it's Antonelli from Russell, then Ferrari with Leclerc, then Verstappen, Hamilton, Hadjar, Sainz, Gabriele Mini in P10, Albon 11th, Lawson in P12, that's Gasly and Lindblad, the 14 drivers who have scored points in this season so far. In terms of the Constructors Championship, McLaren bolstered their advantage to 43 points off whole 1-2 finish. Mercedes still hold on to second despite the race weekend to forget because of the engine failure for George. They are 11 points ahead of Ferrari. Then it's Red Bull in P4 with 47 points, and Williams go up to P5 with 9 points. We go down to 6th with 4 points. Racing Bulls get another point. They are now on 3 in P7, and Alpines was their sole 1 point. And then the 4 teams that didn't score: Audi, Haas, Aston Martin, and Cadillac as well. So we're going to have to continue on here. So it's not the worst outcome. We showed we had the pace to fight for the points, but nonetheless, if you didn't enjoy this particular episode of the My Team, it's not what we wanted. But we had some fun strategy gals. But nonetheless, thank you all for watching. We will see you all for the next one, where we head to Bahrain. We didn't get to race there in real life. We get to do it in the game. So, it'll be interesting to see what the battery management will be. From me, though, ciao, adios. I will be done for today.